Good morning. Hope you guys had a good day yesterday. A little bit of rain, wasn't too bad around here. Hope you were able to go outside and enjoy some fresh air. All right, we're on our last scene of Act 4, and then tomorrow we have a Zoom and then a review quiz. And we are marching rapidly toward our final test over Henry, and that will be your final test. You won't have another one for 8th grade. So, getting exciting. We have next week we'll have 3 videos and then another Zoom and a test. So we are almost done 8th grade. Hang in there. You did a great job of getting back to me yesterday, almost 100%. Nice work. All right, scene 8. Remember, we're trying to catch Fluellen before he gets in a big fight with Williams. All right, Williams is the first to speak. I warrant it is tonight, you captain. Remember, Williams was sent to Gower to tell him to come to see King Henry. So he's talking to Gower, his his sergeant or at arms or whoever was in charge of him. Okay. Fluellen says to Gower, God's will and his pleasure, captain. I beseech you now, come apace to the king. Come quickly to the king. There is more good towards you, peradventure, than is in your knowledge to dream of. Williams turns to Fluellen. Sir, know you this glove? Pointing at the one in his hat. And Fluellen says, Know the glove? I know the glove is a glove. I know this, and thus I challenge it. And he strikes him. So probably not a punch, but probably a slap or something along those lines to start the fight. He says an oath, and then he says, an errant traitor as any's in the universal world or in France or in England. How now, sir, you villain? Now this is his captain who's speaking to Williams. He's like, what are you doing? And Williams says, do you think I'll be forsworn? Do you think I'll break an oath? Stand away, Captain Gower. I will give treason his payment into plows, I warrant you. So Fluellen's about to pummel Williams, and Williams says, I am no traitor. So this wasn't about being a traitor, right? So he's a little confused. And Fluellen says, that's a lie in thy throat. I charge you in his majesty's name, apprehend him. He's a friend of the Duke Alençon, so a French duke. And because this is what Henry has set up to get Williams. All right. Kind of as a joke, but I don't know that Williams would find it much of a joke. Warwick says, how now? What's the matter? My lord of Warwick, here is, praised be God for it, a most contagious treason come to light, look you, as you shall desire in a summer's day. So Fluellen thinks that he's uncovered a French plot. And here comes the king. Here is his majesty. How now, what's the matter? My liege, here is a villain and a traitor that, look your grace, has struck the glove which your majesty is take out of the helmet of Alençon. My liege, this was my glove. Here is the fellow of it. And he that I gave it to in charge promised to wear it in his cap. And I promised to strike him if he did. I met this man with my glove in his cap, and I have been as good as my word. Fluellen says, Your Majesty, here now, saving your Majesty's manhood. What an arrant, rascally, beggarly, lousy knave it is. Remember how wordy he is. He can't say something easily. I hope your Majesty is peer me. So instead of bear me, peer me my testimony and witness, and will avouchment that this is the glove of Alençon that your Majesty has given me in your conscience now. King Henry says to Williams, Give me thy glove, soldier. Look, here is the fellow of it. 'Twas I indeed who thou promised to strike, and thou hast given me most bitter terms. So now Henry's going to out with it. He says, I'm the one that you charged or challenged to fight. And Fluellen says, if it please your majesty, let his neck answer for it if there is any martial law in the world. So Fluellen has now forgotten about this being part of a traitor or part of the situation where there was a traitor. And now he's ready to defend the king. And Henry says, how canst thou make me satisfaction? To Williams. All offences, my lord, come from the heart. Never came any from mine that might offend your majesty. So he says, if I had treason in my heart, or if I were challenging the king, it was not in my heart to do so. I didn't know it was you, right? It was ourself thou didst abuse. William says, your majesty came not like yourself, so you didn't look like this. You appeared to me but as a common man, Witness the night, your garments, your lowliness, and what your highness suffered under that shape. I beseech you, take it for your own fault and not mine. For had you been as I took you for, I made no offense. Therefore, I beseech your highness, pardon me. So he says, if I had known you were the king, I would have shown you proper honor. But I thought you were a common soldier just like me, and so I didn't do that. And that's not my fault because you didn't identify yourself as the king. Henry says, here, Uncle Exeter, fill this glove with crowns and give it to this fellow. Keep it, fellow, and wear it for an honor in thy cap, till I do challenge it. Give him the crowns, and, captain, you must needs be friends with him. By this day and this light the fellow has metal enough in his belly. Hold, there is 12 pence for you, and I pray you to serve God and keep you out of brawls and brabbles, so brawls and brabbles, and quarrels and dissensions, and I warrant you it is the better for you. I want none of your money, or I will none of your money. It is with a good will. I can tell you it will serve you to mend your shoes. Come, wherefore should you be so bashful or bashful? Your shoes is not so good. 'Tis a good shilling, I warrant you, or I will change it. Now, enough silliness, right? The herald comes back. An English herald this time. All right. Now, herald, are the dead numbered? And the herald gives the king a paper. Here is the number of the slaughtered French. King Henry to Exeter. What prisoners of good sort are taken, uncle? Exeter says Charles, Duke of Orleans. So remember Orleans, we met him. Nephew to the king. John, Duke of Bourbon, and Lord Boucicault. Of other lords and barons, knights and squires, full 1,500. So 1,500 lords, barons, knights, and squires are all dead. And on top of that, common men, so they didn't even count those. Henry says, this note doth tell me of 10,000 French that in the field lie slain, of princes in this number, and nobles bearing banners there lie dead, 126. Added to these of knights, squires, and gallant gentlemen, 8,400, of the which 500 were but yesterday dubbed knights, so that in these 10,000 they have lost. There are but 1,600 mercenaries. The rest are princes, barons, lords, knights, squires, and gentlemen of blood and quality. The names of those their nobles that lie dead: Charles Delabret, High Constable of France, or the constable died. Jacques of Chatillon, Admiral of France. The Master of the Crossbows, Lord Rambouillet. Remember we met Rambouillet. Great Master of France, the brave Sir Guichard Dauphin. So the Dauphin is gone. John, Duke of Alençon, Anthony, Duke of Brabant, the brother to the Duke of Burgundy, and Edward, Duke of Bar. Of lusty earls, Grandpré and Roussy, remember we met them, Falconbridge and Foix, Beaumont and Marie, Vaudemont and Lestrade. Here was a royal fellowship of death. Where's the number of our English dead? So the more of these nobles the French nobles that Henry reads, the more afraid he becomes of the numbers for the English. The herald gives him another paper. Edward, the Duke of York, the Earl of Suffolk, so we knew about those two. Exeter saw them die, and we've already heard about them. Sir Richard Ketley, Davy Gam, Esquire. So Esquire would be a knight in training, right? None else of name. So those are all of the royal bloodline or nobility that would have been that was killed. And then he says, none else of name, and of all other men but 25. O God, thy arm was here, and not to us, but to thy arm alone ascribe we all. So Henry takes this moment again to say, this victory is not ours. There is no way we could have won this battle. So this battle is all from the Lord. It was his ability. So this harkens back, as we've already referenced back to Gideon once. Now we're referencing back to numerous battles in which Israel won without ever doing anything. So God confused them. They would run from the battle, or they would kill each other, or something catastrophic like hail or stones would fall. And so Henry is very aware of these stories from the Old Testament, and he is saying, here is yet another that we, tired and sick and wounded English would beat that many French. Has to be God's will, not ours. So he says, O God, thy arm was here, and not to us, but to thy arm alone ascribe we all. when without stratagem, but in plain shock and even play of battle, was ever known so great and little loss on one part and on the other. Take it, God, for it is none but thine. So you get all the glory for this because no one else can. There was never so much disparity between the numbers. Thousands of French dead, only a few British dead. It doesn't make any sense. Exeter says, "'Tis wonderful." Henry says, "Come, go we in procession to the village, and be it death proclaimed throughout our host to boast of this, or take the praise from God, which is his only." So here's a third time where Henry says, nobody is allowed to brag about this battle. We did not win this victory. God gave us this victory. It is his alone. And Fluellen says, "Is it not lawful, if it please your majesty, to tell how many is killed?" And so he wants to brag, but he can't brag. The king just said they have to give the glory to God. So he says, "Can we at least say how many people died?" And King Henry says, "Yes, Captain, but with this acknowledgement that God fought for us." So you can tell how many people died, but you have to say that God fought for us. And Fluellen says, "Yes, by my conscience, he did us great good." So yes, I agree. God gave us this victory. King Henry says, "Do we all holy rites, let there be sung non nobis and te deum." I believe those are songs that are sung at Mass. So non nobis is a hymn that begins, "Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but only unto thy name give glory," from Psalm 115. And Te Deum is a hymn that begins with, "We praise thee, O God." And so he wants everyone to sing those two hymns to be grateful to God for the victory that has been given to them. The dead with charity enclosed in clay, and then to Calais, and to England then, from where ne'er from France arrived more happy men. So Henry just said something that makes them all very happy. Now that they have won and defeated the French so soundly, they can head back to England here very shortly. Okay, so reply today and tell me one of the French nobles that died. So quite a resounding victory for the English, and for the most part, besides the slap, the battle between Williams and Fluellen is also headed off. So just a good day all around. Okay, I hope you guys have a great day. Review your notes for tomorrow's Zoom, and we will remember you get a grade for talking. So come prepared to talk, and then we will have a review quiz over the entire Act 4. All right, take care. Have a great day.